Alright, let's go diving. Now when you go diving, you'll notice that Nancy, she has her metal detector. You can right-click to dig in an area that is setting off the metal detector. And check out this. Is this brain coral? Remember? The monkeys on top of Bat Steep? They wanted a ball. The ball refers to the sea urchin that hangs around the brain coral. We just got it, so now we can give it to the monkeys and climb to the top of Bat Steep. Awesome! And the buried treasure is around here. It's right here. Now this is a puzzle. You see, it says here in El Toro's journal that you have to have, well, where does it say? It says somewhere in El Toro's journal. Let me find it, folks. Here it is. In colorful 9x9, no colors do repeat in any group, column, or row. Basically, it's a Sudoku puzzle. You have to get each row, each column, and each group of 9 to have all 9 colors. Like, say this. We want to know where the yellow square goes in this upper 9x9 square. You can see it's not in this column. It's not in this column because those columns already have a yellow square, which means it has to be in the middle column. The only spot in the middle column it fits in the upper right-hand square is right there. Now the little trick you can use for this puzzle is to run the game in a window and then just click outside the window. There, your game is frozen in time. That's totally cheating, but it gives you an infinite amount of time in order to figure out the puzzle. We get a colored dial, and we get this weird thingy. We'll find out more about that later, but for now I'm running out of air, so I'm going to go back to the ship. Or the sailboat, I should say. The ship is underwater down here. Alright, and time to go sailing. Back to the island. Oh hey, it's our orca buddy from Nancy Drew, Danger on Deception Island. Glad to know that Nancy still has orca power. Alright, so let's refill Nancy's scuba diving tank. And then we can talk to George. You refill the scuba diving tank by doing this.
A nice supply of air does come in handy. I'd better take this air tank with me.
And before talking to George, let me show you that thing we just got. Nancy can turn it upside down. And we have some mysterious symbols here, huh? You know what those mysterious symbols are? They're good for decoding the rest of El Toro's journal. It's a cryptogram, but this one is different because, you know, each symbol can stand for 2 letters now. Very tricky.
There, all decoded.
Alright, I'm going to get to that in the next video, solving all the various mysteries now that we have the journal decoded. But now, let's talk to George.
We are definitely not alone on this island.
Well, hopefully Bess is here somewhere.
Yeah.
I've been hearing footsteps, like people creeping around outside. They're always gone by the time I go to look, but after a while I'll hear them again, and it's starting to get to me.
Yeah, that's really kind of creepy.
Does it sound like several people or just one?
Several squirrel people. Maybe it's the kidnappers.
Look, even if it is, and you still don't know that for a fact, you can't let it stop you from working on that phone. Calling for help might be the only way we're going to get off this island.
You're right. I'm acting like an idiot. From now on, no matter what I hear outside, I'm just going to ignore it and focus. Although if you could somehow make the noises stop, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll see what I can do about it, George.
Did you know you can play games with the monkeys here on the island?
I read that they were taught to play games. You've actually played a game with them?
Mm-hmm.
And won, although it wasn't easy. They even gave me a prize, which turned out to be something they'd pilfered.
They steal things, huh? Wonder what human taught them that.
Maybe it was the kidnappers. Ooh, what if the monkeys are the kidnappers? Huh? No, wait a minute, that's a really stupid idea.
I followed the directions on the kidnapper's note and dug up El Toro's old journal.
So you know where the treasure is?
Well,
Not exactly,
yeah.
no. The journal doesn't give its precise location. After all, El Toro didn't want just anybody to find it, but I'm working on it.
Anything else?
Well, we can go scuba diving.
In order to follow the clues in El Toro's journal, I'd had to do some scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
Scuba diving? Are you nuts? With all the sharks around here?
George, contrary to what the movies would have you believe, sharks rarely attack humans, especially when they live in a healthy ecosystem like this, where they have lots of real fish to eat. If I don't bother them, they're not going to bother me.
Are you sure?
Sure, I love ecosystems. Oh, George is frozen in place.
Positive.
Well, still, if a shark gets too close, you just pretend it's one of the kidnappers and punch it right in the nose.
Good advice, George. Good advice, George. Actually, no, that's bad advice. Punching a shark? Yeah, that's really bad advice. That's even worse than my idea that the monkeys are the kidnappers. Maybe Cuckoo is the kidnapper.
I drove out
What do you
to
think
Sunbury
about that
Beach.
idea?
Any sign of Bess?
Well, I found her golf cart, empty, and I saw one of her shoes. And then I discovered that a fisherman named Johnny Roll is camping there. He's kind of a beach bum. He's also very paranoid.
Yeah.
You found one of her shoes on the same beach as a paranoid beach bum? I don't like the sound of that. Does he know anything about Bess?
He says he doesn't, but I'm not sure I believe him.
I
Yeah.
don't blame you. Some fisherman just happens to be camping on the very beach where Bess disappears. That's way too much of a coincidence for me.
Bess isn't at his campsite. Believe me, I looked.
Without even meeting this guy, I don't like him and I don't trust him. I think you should keep an eye on him.
I keep finding dials all over the place.
Do
Mm-hmm.
you think they're important?
I have no idea.
And yet you feel strangely compelled to collect them. You know, Nance, if this detective stuff doesn't pan out, there may just be a career for you in trash collection.
Very funny, George.
Yeah, George, if this phone repair business doesn't work out, you might want to become a stand-up comedian.
I'll see you later.
Keep me posted.
You know, I missed out on some of the conversation with George, so let me go back and show you the part of the conversation that I missed.
I figured out how to work the sailboat so I can get to all the places mentioned in El Toro's journal.
I've never been big on sailing. All those ropes and winches and halyard things. But you know who absolutely adores sailing?
Let me guess. Holt Scotto.
Bess. I mean, getting kidnapped is bad enough, but missing out on sailing in the Bahamas? Boy, is she gonna be ticked.